Hi everybody, Gary Williams here for Toolbarn.com's Barn Banter, and wait a second, can you guys see me? I'll bet you can't see me. I'm gonna take care of that. I know what's wrong. Hold on. Okay, all right, I'm getting ready now. Okay, look. See, I just went from invisible to visible thanks to this safety vest that I'm wearing, this brightly colored yellow safety vest. It makes me go from invisible to visible, and we're going to talk about that kind of stuff today. We're going to talk about high-vis or high-visibility clothing that you wear when you're working in potentially dangerous areas. I mean, the whole idea of high-visibility clothing, whether it's yellow or orange or whatever, is to turn you from invisible to visible. And it makes you stick out like a sore thumb so that you don't get squashed like a bug on a windshield by some vehicle coming down the road that's not paying attention. So we're going to go into that and some OSHA discussion about what they require with respect to this type of clothing. We're also going to talk about some clothing that'll help keep you cool in the summer. We've already talked about stuff that helps keep you warm in the winter, so you'll want to check this out. It's always good to be cool and conscious and not dizzy when you're working with circular saws, for example. Just something to talk about. And finally, we'll talk about some other types of protective gear. Eyewear, for example, a lot of stuff you've seen, maybe some you haven't. So stay with us because I'll be back. I'm not going to tell you what to wear to work, but I will tell you that if you're working on a road somewhere, you better be wearing one of these. OSHA requires it. And there are actually three classes of this type of clothing as defined by the American National Standards Institute. Class 1 is the lowest class, as you might imagine, and basically it has the least amount of reflective tape on it, and that's for wearing, for example, in around residential construction areas, road construction areas where traffic does not go too fast, or maybe you're far removed from traffic. You know, there are a lot of different jobs that would wear a Class 1 type of vest like this. So it's generally you're working in a safer area. Class 2, there's a little more risk. Traffic is up to 50 miles an hour, it's more congested, and I'll tell you, there's a more reflective tape on a Class 2 type of vest. This is an example, as is the one that I have on. So you ought to be able to see that, don't you think? I would think so, I would hope so. If you can't see something like this, you shouldn't be driving your car or a bus or a truck. Class 3 is for work in the more dangerous types of areas, such as interstate traffic, where speeds are in excess of 50 miles an hour. There's a lot more traffic, and those are, again, pretty easy to see and a lot of reflective tape. And I'll tell you what, you've got to have these things by OSHA requirements. Class 4, well, there is technically no real Class 4, but I would say if you're in a Class 4 type of area, that's where you would want to wrap reflective tape all over your body. Okay, there is no such thing as a Class 4. But you get the idea. You know, you need to have this kind of protective and high visibility clothing when you're out working in dangerous situations. So it's not just a good idea, it's the OSHA regulation. You can say anything you want about wearing all these high visibility vests and other brightly colored clothes that help keep you safe, but they're not going to do you a lot of good if you're passed out on the ground because of the heat. So we do have some products that will help you keep your cool when you're working in really hot weather, and we're going to show you just a few of these. This is basically it's a neck bandana, and this thing has some little pellets in it that when you soak this thing in water for about 20 minutes, it absorbs the cool from the water. You wrap it around your neck and you place it so that it's over your carotid artery, and actually that'll help carry cool throughout your body. It'll help carry cool temperatures throughout your body, and that's a big deal when the weather is really hot and humid. So, you know, this is one thing that you can consider. We also have some hard hat pods, and it's the same kind of principle. You soak these in water, and it's got Velcro straps there, and you can hook these onto the frame of your hard hat. And when it's soaked in water and you're wearing it on your head, that'll help keep your body cool as well. That's a big deal, to keep your brain cool when you're out there in the hot sun. And hard hats can be pretty uncomfortable. If you wear one out in hot weather, you know that. So this is actually a good idea. We've got a cooling vest. Again, the same principle. You soak this thing in water, and although it feels kind of heavy, when you soak it in water and you put it on, it'll help keep your body temperature under control in the warm summer days as well. And finally, I just want to show you this thing. I've seen these things around now. It's kind of an idiot bandana because you don't really have to tie it, but you soak this in water and you put it over your head and you have somebody tie it for you so that it doesn't look, really stupid. But you keep that wet, you wear that under your hard hat, and it will also help keep you cool. So it may seem like kind of a wasted precaution if you're drinking a lot of water and all that kind of stuff, but I'll tell you, when you're out in the hot summer sun, Any little thing that you can do to stay cool will help keep you healthy. So we've shown you how to stay visible when you're working in kind of dangerous conditions, and we've shown you how to stay cool when you're working in the heat. We're going to show you a few things that you might be more familiar with in terms of safety apparel and safety items. Hard hats, these are pretty common, pretty standard, right? We've got a good selection of these at toolbarn.com, but you've got to have a good hard hat if you're working in a construction zone or any place where you can get things dropped on your head or ram your head into anything. We also have some really good eyewear for you to take a look at. For example, these are Edge eyewear. Now these things have impact resistant lenses, and I'll tell you what's kind of cool about these is you can take a look at the frames. No frames are invulnerable, but these were found out in a parking lot outside of our headquarters, and if you look at these lenses, they're an absolute mess, but they're not shattered, they're not broken. So these would protect your eyes pretty well when you're working on the job, and that's something that I'll tell you what, good eye protection is an absolute must when you're working around a lot of dust or other types of projectiles that could fly up and hit you in the face. This is a little bit different of a turn on protective eyewear. These are kind of dust goggles. I kind of like them, actually. I'd like to wear these on the golf course. I'm afraid everybody would run away from me and hide, but might improve my golf game. We've also got some great heavy-duty work pants from Workwear. Now we showed you some of these. Actually, I think it was in our very first episode. They were a different color, but these are Workwear pants. And these things are great. They've got a lot of great pockets. They're very good to work in and to work with. Very durable fabric, and they actually come in the color I just showed you. They come in a much brighter color as well. And I could see people wearing these if they're working at night or in some low visibility areas, just to give a little bit higher of a profile to what they're doing, a little higher profile to their bodies to keep them from getting hit and hurt. Now, we did test these things out in Man vs. Tool, and you can take a look at that video, but after the test, this is what they look like. And I mean, they put these pants through some really stringent tests, and they got pretty torn up, but they were supposed to. But I tell you what, they held together remarkably well. Given all the things that they were put through, you don't have to worry that we're going to ship them to you like this. If you order these things, we'll ship you a pair like these, okay? So a little bit better condition than the ones that Man beat up. One more thing to show you, and this is the real deal. This is from Workwear, and it's a little different when it comes to workwear. This is a kilt, but it's made out of the same durable material, and it's got all the accessory pockets as the Workwear pants, and you know, it will keep you a little cooler if that's what you're looking for when you're on the job. So, you know, you might want to check that out. Now, with all of this fancy workwear, safety wear we've got, we thought maybe it would be a good idea just to have a little fashion show, just kind of for laughs. We've got a lot of homely models that we're going to let you see wearing this type of thing if that's what you'd like to do. So, you can check that out. Remember, before you go out on the job, that safety is no accident. It's something you've got to think about and prepare for. So check out our safety page on toolbarn.com, and we hope to see you next time. Thanks. By the way, we'd like to know what you folks think of the show. We're looking for some feedback, so if you've got any ideas for things that we've already done or things that we might do in the future, click on the link in this video and let us know. We'd appreciate your input. Thanks again, and we hope to see you again next time.